Okay, starter motor cable. You can buy this in Super Cheap Auto for about $25, or you can buy this copper cable for $20 a metre. So that's for 2 metres, so $40 a metre, beg your pardon. Or you can get the same thing at Jaycar for $17.50 a metre. The cable lugs are from Jaycar and they're fairly affordable. We're going to use solder to join our lugs onto the cable. There is the possibility that solder can, after time, the current flow can be restricted. The way they've joined this is just to put the cable in and press down on it, and with the shrink wrap form a bond. But anyway, we're going to use these lugs and I'm going to solder them. I have to swap this type of joiner for a standard eyelet, so I'll just cut it with a hacksaw. I'm not a mechanic or auto electrician, so I'm no expert, but I can get the job done. I'm like a hobby mechanic or auto electrician, and I just like to tinker with and fix machines. I don't like the misdiagnosis or buying the wrong part of it, but I do like fixing things, and I suppose that's what my drive is. So I'll just expose some wire. Okay, so I've just used the grinder just to get the tip off the end of the cable, because it's a very tight fit. So there's the cable lug. It's an eyelet lug, and there's an opening on the top there, and I'll be heating this up and dripping the solder in, and that'll bond the lug to the cable. Okay, unfortunately I just feel that there's too much copper exposed there, so I'll just make some adjustments. Okay, I've just got these small snips and I'm able to just trim it fairly easily. At this point I've got my shrink wrap installed on the wire. I've got one extra, and in case one falls off. Okay, so let's see how we go. Yeah, to me that's okay. Okay, just be very mindful and careful of your safety and everybody else's when you use one of these things. Never leave it running while you leave the work site and go somewhere else. Always turn it off. Use skin protection. Cover your hands with gloves. Make sure you don't burn yourself or touch the work you're working on. It'll be hot. Take it easy. Never rush this type of work, especially if you're not familiar with it. So use one of these to light it. I've always had luck by sort of covering it like that on the top, just putting it over the top, and you've got a flint in there, and that rubs against a serrated bar in there. So okay. You don't need too much heat, just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to start by just warming up the lug. So that'll take a short time. When I'm soldering, I'll have the heat behind, so the flame doesn't get on the solder, and I'll just be heating this hot enough that the solder will melt on this side with the flame at the back here. So just turn it up a little bit just to get some heat going there. I've done a couple of these before, and I've only just started like today. I've done 2 today, so I'm new to this myself, so if I find a new skill, I usually try to pass it on as early as possible. Okay, so that should be warming up now. That's the beauty of videos, you can just fast forward it as you need to. Right, so I'll get my solder. The solder has flux in it. This is a bit thin for what I need, however it's all I've got, so I'll carry on. I don't have a whole lot of solder left actually, so it is on my list of things to get. Just test it and see. No. It's got to be a bit hotter yet. And again, I do have my shrink wrap on the cable at this point. It's important that you've got, okay, there it goes. So that's pouring in through the hole and forming a bond. So that's working real well. So I just pull some more off the reel and just keep on applying it. I'll try to keep the flame off it. But yeah, I think that's probably job done right there. So, as I say, I have heard that this can restrict current flow, soldering, and that's why they just sort of crimp it. So that should be flowing very well now, so I'm happy. Right, so if you're not using it, turn your gas cylinder off. Okay, I'll let that cool down and we'll put our shrink wrap on.